I keep thinking about Half-Life 2. This game, more than almost any other FPS game, has stuck with me for over 20 years now. It's not because I replay it every year because it's technically flawless by today's standards, but because it's somehow become a part of me, a fabric of the gaming background that makes me who I am. It's funny the way certain games lodge themselves into your mind. They take up residence somewhere deep, not just as nostalgic memories, but as emotional experiences, feelings that come floating back from the smallest triggers, like maybe the distant hum of the combine scanners, or the rhythmic lapping of waves along the abandoned coastlines, or the metallic echo of footsteps through City 17's deserted streets. Half-Life 2 isn't just a game I enjoyed, it's this world that kind of feels real, and somehow it just has never left. When I first bought Half-Life 2, I remember this excitement vividly. I was younger, I got a boxed copy from the store, came home, popped in the disc, only to discover that this game required this new thing called Steam, a download service that needed more bandwidth than our crummy satellite internet could handle. I hit the bandwidth cap multiple times trying to download this thing and eventually was able to get it to boot up. Probably only got to the point of playing it like around the airboat. It was one of those horrible like family computers too, so it didn't run very well. But even back then, I knew it was special. Now, a long time later, around 2010 or 2011, I'd saved up enough money to buy a Mac Pro, like an 8-core workstation at the time. I grew up working at a local TV spot, and I continued to try and do work for them and other like contract video editing work in college. And at the time, everything was like Final Cut Pro 7 and these Mac Pros that were kind of workhorses at the time. And ultimately, I'd boot camped like Windows 7 on it. But I think remembering back, I played through Half-Life 2 on the OS X version, and it was fun. There I was, almost a decade late, right, playing through the game on a machine that was never really meant for gaming. And I actually remember this is where I met Epos Fox, and he and I were messaging through Steam at the time when I was going through my first real playthrough of the game. I wish I could go find those old chat logs. I don't even know how we met, but I was blown away at how incredibly good that experience was. It was fresh and vivid and unlike anything else available, at least to me at the time. And here's the thing. I've played and beaten Half-Life 2 many times since, maybe 3 or 4. But every playthrough, especially since my most recent run last year, where I did episode 1 and 2 altogether, it reinforced something that I struggle to put into words. This game flows differently. It's paced in a way that doesn't just push you forward, it pulls you gently along with its clever design, nudging you into moments of quiet contemplation before exploding into frantic action. It knows exactly when to let you breathe and exactly when to squeeze your chest with tension. And the original Half-Life 1 was really good with this as well. I want to throw a quick shout out towards Half-Life 1 as well. If you've never played that game, it still is incredible. Both the original and then the fan project Black Mesa, they're both awesome. Now, the details in Half-Life 2 are magnificent. There is this elegance in the way that Valve designed the environments, whether it's the eerie, calm nature of Ravenholm, where shadows feel heavier than the darkness itself, or the sprawling openness of Highway 17, there is always this sense of wonder and kind of dark mystery. You're always questioning what's around the next corner, but also it doesn't rush you. You can take some time to just soak in some moments. And this kind of willingness to let you linger in between the really tense big firefights, it lets you wonder, is something, missing from modern games? Because a lot of times it's just like, pull them along the thread, let's get to the next cutscene, let's do the next thing. It doesn't balance the act super well the way Half-Life 2 does, of the frantic action and the quiet moments and where the world feels real. I think it's that in-between that makes it feel so fantastic. And replaying it, it's not groundbreaking from the graphics standpoint or the crazy cool physics puzzles, and those do help. It's this mood. The power comes from the mood, from the tone, and from that emotional resonance. It's not about what the game explicitly tells you, but it's what it allows you to feel and to imagine. And that soundscape plays a big role. It is a storyteller. The distant echoes of the radio chatter, the head crab noises, the familiar comfort of your suit's energy replenishing. These are memories, and I can hear the sound effects anytime and kind of be transported back to that first playthrough. And I do wonder, why do the sounds stick out so much? The clink of the gravity gun, the thud of picking up ammo, breaking through a box or something. They are etched into my mind with remarkable clarity. Maybe it's because each sound is tied to a distinct moment, a small story within the larger narrative. Moments of triumph, moments of fear, even quiet moments staring out at the game's haunting landscapes. It feels real. And I know it shouldn't, but it's a bunch of small, deliberate design choices that really build into this collectively impressive experience that still echoes with me. The big question, is the game dated now? And it hurts to answer this because I feel so passionately about the game. And when I talk to younger players who haven't beaten this thing, I try super hard to sell them on it. But yeah, in some ways, technically, yes, of course, it is dated. This is an old game. Graphically, textures and animations have naturally aged, but does that really matter? Does it diminish the experience? And for me, absolutely not. Half-Life 2 remains one of the most immersive and finely tuned single-player FPS games ever crafted, in my opinion. And I think it's a testament to great game design. I feel similarly about like Portal or Portal 2. Most of Valve's games, they put in this level of polish where they do kind of feel timeless. Is that because I've got nostalgia powering all of it? Probably. That's probably a big part of it. You know, there's a section in episode 2, which is a lot of fun, where you're just driving through these lush forests on these mountain roads. And I definitely had to take a moment when you look back over City 17, I guess, and you see the big, like, whatever, the portal thing happening. I had to just pause and sit there and soak it in and realize you're not just looking at textures. It felt like you were Gordon at that moment, looking back at this huge event that you had just caused or been at the centerpiece of, essentially. I don't get many of those moments with a lot of modern games, and I don't really know how you get to those moments. Honestly, this channel is not like super devoted to game design stuff. I don't necessarily want to know or drill too deep into how the sausage is made. I kind of just like enjoying it as the player without having to like really figure out how it was put together. I guess it's pacing. Maybe it is just the really well executed sense of pacing. It knows when to rush forward, when to slow down, when to pause, and it's pretty good at recognizing that our experiences are not defined by constant stimulation, but kind of these contrasts, like the ebbs and flow. Like in a music piece, right? You've got a soft portion, maybe it crescendos and it gets intense and then maybe it drops back down. But if it's just like loud all the time or quiet all the time, you don't have that same journey that you would go on. And Valve handles the balance between those two opposites so well that it creates this magic in between. The bottom line is play it or play it again. It is an amazing title. I'm very curious if you made it this far. Let me know in the comments. Have you ever played Half-Life 2? I would love to get a sense of the new generation of players. Is this a game that people are trying? And if you've played it before, definitely let me know. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a thumbs up. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you again very soon.